How do you relate to God? How do you relate to God? Is God distant, remote, somewhere out there, not really concerned about you or concerned about us? Is God only a judge who's watching every move you make just to catch you, just to correct you? How do you relate to God? In today's gospel, Jesus knows the Father and is known by the Father. And in this intimate knowledge as a son, Jesus reveals the Father to us as loving, compassionate, forgiving. Jesus reveals to us a God who is passionately interested in us. A God whose only concern is to heal, to save, and to be one with us on life's journey. And with this experience and understanding of God the Father, look at what Jesus does for the disciples and for us. He says, "Come to me." Come on, come to me. Learn from me. Take my yoke. Now, it's interesting about the yoke. I did some research on the yoke. What is this yoke that Jesus is talking about in today's gospel? A yoke was made out of wood. We probably have seen it in Western movies where the oxen are yoked together. Did you know that the yoke was tailor-made for that ox? One size did not fit all. It had to fit comfortably, so it wasn't rubbing and scraping against the ox. The yoke allowed the ox to go in the same direction with the other ox. They weren't at odds with one another. They worked together. In a sense, no one of them was overburdened or overbearing. They were in partnership with one another. Jesus invites us to be yoked to him, to share the burdens, our life situations with him, so that we're not at odds with one another. So we're not all going in separate directions. By yoking ourselves to Jesus and his way, his truth, and his life, he is telling us that our life burdens, whatever they might be, that those burdens will be eased because we are dealing with them in partnership with him, and that our own spirits to continue on life's journey will be refreshed. See, the yoke of Jesus transforms our burdens. Transforms them because that yoke allows us to work in freedom from despair. We're not alone anymore. It gives us a life of hope. Hope that our life is not solitary or unimportant. It gives us freedom from slavery, of whatever's holding us back, holding us down. We have a partner in life. Freedom from fear that I have to do everything by myself, that I can't ask for help or learn from others. When we are yoked together with this Lord of life, we shoulder life's burdens together. And we are reminded that our journey and walk in life is no longer solitary. I'm not out here alone. That life is really about us. It's no longer merely about me. That we are members of a community that belong to one another, not only in church, but on this Independence Weekend, to remind ourselves that we are together as citizens of this country. And we are to work together and assist one another, to help one another with the burdens of life that faces all of us. Our yoke to Jesus is our yoke to one another. It's a yoke of freedom, of not being shackled. As we gather around the Eucharistic table, I invite us to reflect on our willingness and our openness to be yoked to Jesus and to one another.